The Many Characters of Doctor Who. Entry 37. Sara Kingdom. Sara Kingdom was a companion of the first incarnation of the Doctor. She was played by Jean Marsh and briefly May Warden whilst she was being aged by the Time Destructor. She was a human from Earth in the 40th century, working for the Space Security Service since the age of 7. Daughter of Merrick Kingdom, Sara was one of 4 children, alongside her brothers Brett and David and her sister Lena. Brett and David would also go on to work for the Space Security Service. Having already foiled an attempt to take over the Earth by the Daleks sometime before meeting the Doctor by diverting them to another planet, she was forced by the Guardian of the Solar System, Mavic Chen, to fatally shoot her brother Brett, when she was informed that he was working against Chen. However, she came to immensely regret this action when the Doctor and his companion at the time, Stephen Taylor, persuaded her that Mavic Chen was working with the Daleks, and that Brett was only betraying him to try and warn the Earth of Chen's plans to align with the Daleks. Upon discovering that Mavic Chen planned to use a device called a Time Destructor to aid the Daleks in conquering the universe, she worked with the Doctor and Stephen to keep a vital component of the device from Chen and the Daleks, this being an M of Terranium. Whilst this was ultimately successful, as both the Daleks and Chen were destroyed by the very Time Destructor they created, Sara was also killed by it, aging to death in front of the Doctor and Stephen, much to their distress at losing a friend in such a horrific manner, as both were still reeling from the recent deaths of Brett and Katerina, who they also considered friends. She was only 31 years old before the Time Destructor fatally aged her. She had no children, having been sterilised upon joining the Space Security Service. It was Sara's death, along those of Brett, Katerina and Anne Chaplet's possible demise, that led to Stephen nearly leaving the TARDIS forever in 1960s London before changing his mind upon meeting Dodo Chaplet. Stephen Taylor had developed romantic feelings for Sara during his time knowing her, but she did not feel the same way. Sara Kingdom was a Caucasian woman with long dark hair and blue eyes. She did not smile much and was never seen outside of her black space security catsuit. Jean Marsh had no intention of staying on as a companion beyond the Daleks' master plan, and saw her time on the show as more of a guest character than a companion, despite many official lists saying otherwise. Her character was inspired by Catherine Gale from the Avengers. Jean Marsh had appeared in the show as Joanna, sister of King Richard in The Crusade, and would go on to appear as Morgaine alongside Sylvester McCoy's Seventh Doctor and the Brigadier in 1989's Battlefield.